Mission Impossible 3 was a directorial debut of J.J. Abrams, and it brings back, of course, Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt with the additional cast featuring Ving, Rhames, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Maggie Q, and Jonathan Rhys Meyers, as well as Michelle Monaghan. Tom Cruise and his team are after Philip Seymour Hoffman, who wants to get his hands on this rabbit's foot device, and he constantly slips away from his fingers, so there's this cat and mouse chase that constantly seems to have these twists and turns to them. And welcome back to my Geek Classic reviews for Mission Impossible films. I've reviewed the first one and the second one. Go check out my reviews for those, and there's a playlist link in the description. And just like in those two reviews, this one will have spoilers as we head into Fallout. So let's get started. Mission Impossible 3 improves on a lot of mistakes that the second film made in the franchise, and improves on them immensely, bringing the overall quality of the film back to what was the quality of the first film. First and foremost, it understands that Ethan Hunt is not James Bond. It recognizes the characters as real people, and it has a tight grasp and understanding of tone and of the world the film is set in. Which makes sense because JJ, before this, his directorial debut in film, he worked a lot on television as a director, as executive producer, as writer. So this guy understands character and character development and world building, which makes this film stand out among the bunch of Mission Impossible films. And he has a really good balance in how he directs the film. He helms both dramatic scenes and action scenes extremely well and in a very unique way, and he packs this film with a shot of cocaine, not even to the arm, directly to the heart. This film is so fast-paced, I don't remember, even rewatching it earlier today, I don't remember a moment in this film stopping or even slowing down a bit, which can also take away from the film at points, because just like comedy, if you just hit too much and you constantly hit too much, you don't allow the audience or your characters in the film a moment to breathe, to process everything that is going on, new information that might come into them. It takes away from the development of the story, from the unfolding of the narrative. There's a cadence to pacing, and sometimes this film seems to forget it. Because every action set piece is so grand and spectacular, there's little connective tissue in between them for characters to get to one point to the next. Everyone is constantly running, jumping, flying, or just doing something insane. We're not really allowed to breathe or to absorb anything that we are witnessing or have witnessed, because one really comes after the next, and it's so fucking fast. That being said, however, the action in this film is fucking awesome. Like the energetic to no end bridge scene with the drone destroying everything and Ethan Hunt taking out the BFG, the big fucking gun, to take it out. Or the one take scene with Ethan Hunt running down the scene with Simon Pegg in his ear, and he's constantly running to get to this phone, and there's this beautiful one take that takes like 30 seconds or even more, and we are just there with him, running with him. You start sweating even though you're sitting down watching a movie. And the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman gives a tremendous performance in this film, perhaps the best villain performance in a Mission Impossible film, and he's often praised by many as the best villain in this franchise. I never really gave a shit about him. I never cared because there's not anything to him. He was never the best villain, even if the villains in Mission Impossible movies are not all that great to begin with. He was never even the best among that okay, fine pile of villains. There's a frustration we feel towards him because we feel for Ethan and his team, because throughout the film he constantly gets away. They capture him and he gets away, and there's this cadence that's really well done in the film because we constantly want to get to him again. There's a frustration that we feel for others towards him, but there's not really anything that we feel for him. There's nothing to him. He's evil, but he has no character besides that. There's no backstory. There's no motivation for him. He's just fine, okay, serviceable and effective, but really no character whatsoever. And those are the two major issues that encompass the whole film. The villain is okay, but there's really nothing to him. Even other villains who were not as good had some character, had a backstory. You understood who they were and not what they were. Mission Impossible 3 takes to stride what mistakes the second one made, and it improves so much on them. And it gives us a great emotional arc and great development to Ethan Hunt, perhaps the most he's had in all 3 movies until this point. We'll talk about Ghost Protocol when we get there. The film understands how much action it needs, and hell yeah it does, but it also understands it needs humanity. Our characters, we feel for them, we root for them in this film. There's a certain homogenization of the action set pieces, and the structure can feel a bit messy. But we have great characters and great character dynamics and relationships that we can understand and relate to, and because of that, I am going to give Mission Impossible 3 a martini. It is a good time, anytime. But what did you think of Mission Impossible 3, my beautiful geekies? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Did you like J.J. Abrams' directorial debut? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for joining me so far on my Mission Impossible series. I can't wait to bring you my review of Ghost Protocol. Can't wait to see you there. Check out all the other reviews I've done so far and the current reviews I'm doing outside of the Geek Classics. Thank you so much once more, and so until the next review, you stay beautiful, you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so it can be geeky united!